Welcome to pattern making class. This is Annette Julie, and today we're working on pant design details. And what I have here is my trouser pant draft, and I have a piece of paper that I have drawn the front grain line, side grain line, back grain line on, and I'm going to tape, and the hem, I'm going to tape this on here, and we're going to extend this and make a cuff. And we can make a cuff for a pant from front to back all in one time. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. And the leg is a rather wide leg. It's got an 8-inch opening in the front, and it's got a 9-inch opening here in the back. So if you want to, you can go ahead and close this leg and make it a little bit smaller. So this being the front, go ahead and bring this in a 1/2 inch on both sides. The same with the back. A 1/2 inch on both sides. And then you can go ahead and taper that leg. Let's taper that leg, I want to say, let's taper that leg up about 12 inches. Okay, so from 1/2 inch to 0, over 12 inches, we're going to do this front and back. And you can continue to taper the leg more, but this is what I just need for now. You can continue this up past the 12 inches and shape the leg differently. But we're going to use this leg opening for the cuff. So I've tapered and I've brought that up. And now my leg opening is a little bit smaller to start with. And then I can decide how thick do I want my cuff to be. Do I want it to be 1 inch or 1.5 inches? And this is the bottom of the leg opening for our draft. So we always build a cuff going down. We're not going to build the cuff going up, or we're going to shorten the leg. So if you also need to add to the length of the pant, do it now before we add to the cuff. The cuff will be folded up and will sit right in this area above the hem. It'll sit here and here. Okay, so let's pick the measurement that you'd like to work with. I think I'm going to go for 1.5 inches. And I'm going to take that 1.5 inch line all the way across to my back. Okay, and this is the first line that we need for our cuff. And this ends up being the back of our cuff. Now the next line I'm going to make, this is going to end up being the front of our cuff. We need to use the same 1.5 inches. So if you used 1 inch, please use another inch. If you used 4 inches, please use another 4 inches. But whatever you did to the back, it's the same on the front. So extend this down another 1.5 inches. This is the back. Here now we have the front of our cuff development. And we're doing this on this is the back leg, and this is my front leg, and so we're doing it on both of those at the same time. There's my front of my cuff. So we have back and front. Now we need a hem. And you always want the hem to be smaller than the actual cuff height itself. So if this cuff height here, this is 1.5 inches, that's the total height it's going to be. So we need our hem allowance to be smaller. We can make that hem allowance 1 inch or 1 1/4. I'm going to go for 1 inch. Here's the front. Let's continue this across to the back. Okay, great. Now go ahead and split the legs along the side seam grain line that comes along with your draft. Go ahead and split that. Good. Now this down here, this is our hem allowance. Right, front and back. Hem allowance. And beyond that, we don't need anything more. So we can actually cut off this excess paper. Save it for something else. Now we're ready to start folding our cuff. And we are making a cuff. Okay? So, we want to see the front, so we're going to fold it where we can end up seeing it. So we're going to fold this where we hide the back and pull down the front so we can see the front. We give a little bit more tape over to the side as well. You tape it right there, and then I have the rest of the leg tucked under. Let me do a little bit better of a job tucking that under so it's not in the way of our folding. Get that out of the way. Okay, now back to the cuff. We have the front that we want to see, the back that we don't, and the hem that goes underneath. So we're creasing our cuff and folding it so that we see the front and that the back is underneath and we don't see the back. Then we're going to take our hem and we're going to fold our hem under as well. And this is going to go into the leg opening. So this is the start of our cuff. We're going to take our ruler and bring it down onto the leg opening and grab our tracing wheel in a minute. This is part 1, and I'll see you in part 2.